Okay, right now, parents and high school seniors all over the country are filling out those college applications and financial aid forms.
Can be a stressful time, so we brought in an expert to help answer questions you may be having. Rob Franick is our friend, the Princeton Review's editor-in-chief, and their book, The Best 391 Colleges, is out now. Rob, it's so good to see you.
We were just saying in commercial break, the stress levels are high.
Oh my gosh, we are hearing it. I mean, from students and parents this year more than ever. 2025, 73% on our survey, College Hopes and Worries says that they are either high or very high stress levels, particularly around debt.
Is there a way, so we want to talk about debt, but is there a way, like, is there anything you can say to parents or students just to like lower the pressure a little?
It's a good question, and I feel like that's the mission that we're trying to get at. But one of the things I tell all of my students is that $180 billion is out there annually for some sort of financial aid and scholarships, and then 70% of all students nationally will receive that money. So just to sort of bring the pressure down and say most people are going to qualify for some financial aid. And also to note that, you know, the FAFSA form, to start early, start thinking about the things that make you nervous, particularly money and cost of college.
So let's talk about money. I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at some of the price tags in these schools that my kids want to go to, and you go, there's just no way I can do that. What do you say to them? Well,
a couple things. Never just look at the sticker cost, or never cross a school off of your list of consideration for sticker costs alone, because so many schools, particularly those schools on this great financial aid list, are giving out a great deal of money to students without forcing them to take out a loan. So you're not mortgaging out your future to pay for college, but you might feel that you are just looking at sticker costs alone.
Okay, so, and then I think there's different ways that people are going. I think sometimes the conversation is like, oh my gosh, with this cost, even with financial aid, is it worth it? But there's a lot of technical schools and other things that are being considered.
Yeah, a couple of different things. College is still worth it without question, and these are things I talk about with my own students all the time. You know, over a career lifetime, you're going to earn between $1.5 million and $2 million more over your career lifetime if you have an undergraduate degree, a college degree, than without. You're more nimble in your professions, you have lower rates of unemployment, but you are very right. This idea of CTE, and that acronym is Career and Technical Education. So those students that are really hoping for a certificate program, not wanting to go into a four-year school, there are lots of big channels. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that particularly for healthcare, technology, and skilled trade, that's where they would focus.
And you point to some of the schools that are doing really well giving financial aid, which is helpful. You have, I think, your top five, starting with Washington and Lee in Virginia.
Yeah, Washington and Lee is an awesome school academically. I mean, it's a fabulous place, and it's been a great favorite of ours at Princeton Review. But some folks might get scared with the sticker cost, $85,000, but their average gift aid is $67,000. So bringing it down to $18,000, which is less than what a student and family could expect to pay for 1 year of public school average across the state. So that's where you have to dig down, and that's the homework that we've been doing at Princeton Review forever. Just making sure that you don't have blinders on in this process, and you can have the real numbers that you could decide as a family.
The other thing that I think students are talking about a lot are SATs and ACTs, because they're not required. They are required at some schools. They're not required at others. What do you say in general?
To all of our students, I say you must take the SAT and ACT, and that might sound self-serving.
Even if you're not a good test taker?
Here's the thing.
You should know that?
Well, if you know, I tell all my students, take a practice test first of all, just to prove out, how you're going to perform in that SAT and ACT. But you should make the choice yourself. These schools are test optional, so do as well as you can on the SAT and ACT. Submit to those schools that you're above the 50% mean, and then don't feel embarrassed to withhold for those schools that you fall below that mean.
Rob, one of the things that I'm hearing from college students is that some of these means, some of these averages are so high because what they're being told to do is not submit unless it's in the average. So if the average are in the 1400s, the likelihood to get there is hard.
It is hard. You're right. And that is the phenomenon of the pandemic, right? We had, in 2019, 1,000 schools that were test optional, but nearly overnight, it became 3,000 schools. And many of those schools are still test optional, which, to this phenomenon, most students with superlative scores are submitting. So now those schools over the last 5 years have become incredibly competitive, making this phenomenon very real for students.
I mean, that's part of the stress, I think.
As someone who's just been through this, a little recent experience, I would also say don't be scared off necessarily by that SAT, because that's only the kids who submitted their scores, which means you're getting only the very, very top scores. You've still got a shot.
Like the average is
cross
skewed.
It off.
The average is so skewed.
Can we talk early action, early decision? The acceptance rates are higher for those. That's objectively true. Do you recommend kids go that route?
Early decision, early action. Early decision is binding. Early action is not binding. You still have until national decision deadline for early action, May 1st. But most students applying early decision, you're right, there is a strategy here. If you've done your homework, you found a best fit school, you've figured out the finances, then without question, unapologetically, you should apply early decision.
Is that helpful to do all that early?
It is helpful from a strategic perspective. Right. I'll just give you a couple of examples. Tulane, fabulous school, but between 60 and 70% of its students are admitted early decision. Fairfield in Connecticut, not far from us. 80% of their students at Fairfield are coming in early decision. So from statistics alone, it could be an advantage for students to apply early decision rather than just the regular decision pool.
How God, things are so different. All right, can we have fun with our alma mater? Should we talk UT and Vanderbilt? How they doing?
You're on so many superlative lists, both of you.
Know.
I mean,
we loved it.
Mm-hmm. Best college city for UT Austin. I mean, and great Greek life. I mean, happiest students overall. Vandy is also on that list, but best run schools, best campus newspaper. I know there's a tussle here, but I mean, these schools are just superlative. And what I love is that these are students generating these responses. We surveyed 170,000 students, 50 different ranking lists. The several that we're talking about, and certainly the great financial aid list as well.
I think one last thing to say.
Yeah, of course.
We just went through this is that you hear about all these schools, everybody wants to go, and they're so great.
Yeah.
There's a great school waiting for you.
Yes.
And all these schools, when you go on a college tour and walk around and go, this place is amazing. You will be happy there. You will find friends. You will thrive there.
I hear it all the time. And we talked about it at your high school last week. You can bring the pressure down early and say there's a best fit school out there for everybody. And you can feel the pressure come down. And let's talk about, have a conversation of substance rather than fear.
And there's interesting ways to get into some of those schools now, too. Transferring. Yeah. If it isn't right, there's always a way to figure it out.
Yeah, there's no pox on your house if you transfer after a year or 2 years.
And I have a lot of friends that
did
did that and are very, very happy adults.
Yeah. Well said.
All right, thank you. The Princeton Reviews, Best 391 Colleges 2026 edition is out right now. It can be a really great guide for those parents and kids.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. So helpful always. Good to see you.